Over the last 4 years, Democrats and the Biden administration have been telling you in no uncertain terms, there is no problem at the U.S. border. This is despite the fact that we had over 400,000 illegal immigrant encounters in 2020, over 1.7 million encounters in 2021, 2.3 million encounters in 2022, and 2.4 million encounters in 2023. And wouldn't you know it, all of a sudden we find ourselves in an election year, and now there's a problem. Joe Biden's been going on a campaign tour telling the American people, we got a problem at the border, but it's not my fault. You know whose fault it is? It's Congress's fault. They haven't passed any legislation that has given me the money or the power to solve this problem. This, of course, is a complete lie. As the President of the United States and the leader of the executive branch, he has all of the power he needs invested within him to secure the borders of the United States of America. But now, Joe Biden has made a big mistake. I'm going to show you that mistake in the video clip today because he's going to take a playbook out of the Democrats. This is something they do all the time. When there's reality happening in front of your face, they'll tell you it's not happening, just like there's been no border problem over the last 4 years. But now he's going to be so bold as to blame the only person he really could never blame for this problem. That's right. Joe Biden is now coming out and blaming Donald Trump. Now, I know some of you are going to say, Vin, he's blamed Donald Trump for this. Well, not exactly. What the Biden administration has done in the past is they said that they inherited a broken border situation from Donald Trump. Of course, this is another lie. It wasn't broken. It was one of the best situations that we've ever seen historically, at least in the last few decades at our border under Donald Trump. He got things in order. So they inherited a good system. It went from 400,000 encounters to 2.4 million in 2023. But Joe Biden has never actually looked at the American people in the face and said, you will now know the truth that Donald Trump is to blame for all of the border issues that we are having. And you would think there's no way that he came out and said it just like that. Check out the clip.
Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends.
Now, why do I think that this is such a big deal? 3 reasons. Reason number 1 is the least surprising. You have about 50, maybe 55% of Americans who find themselves to be more conservative, especially on this issue, and they are going to see Joe Biden lying to them in their face. And you know what this is going to do? It's going to embolden them. They've already been emboldened. We've already been emboldened. But when our president lies to us like this in our face and tries to take a situation, an invasion that he's allowed to happen on our border, and then he has the audacity to try and actually blame the only person in recent history who's really tried to do something actively about this issue, it's going to start to bring a fire against him from these conservative individuals. Reason number 2, this is a bigger reason, independents. Now, independents have some problems, of course. They're on the fence on different issues, maybe, things that conservatives would say, come on now, you got to come over to the right side on this thing. But they're not stupid. And when Joe Biden looks at independents in the face and he tells them, this invasion that's been occurring over the last 4 years, now we've had the worst amount of illegal immigrants crossing over to the U.S. border in history. I'm not the reason that that's happening. Donald Trump's the reason. Yeah, the guy who tried to build the wall that we stopped, the guy who tried to highlight this problem and said that we need to get this under control and Democrats stopped, that's the guy who's the problem. Independents are going to see this, and you know what I think is going to happen? I think they're going to get pissed off because the last thing American independents want is for somebody to lie to them in their face like this. Like, listen, if Joe Biden wants to come out and say, I made a mistake, I'm going to get this under control, we're going to solve this problem, and he wants to try to work to do that, that's one thing. I think independents might respect that. But to look at them and to tell them that you're going to know that Donald Trump was the one to blame for this, I think now you lose them because all of a sudden they're not stupid. They know what reality is. They can see the reality and they know that you're the loser who's been in charge of this invasion on the U.S. Reason number 3. Democrats. Now, Democrats are infected with a parasitic disease called liberalism. It's a problem. It affects the brain and it affects their reasoning as they go throughout the world. However, I do think that there is a percentage, albeit a small percentage, maybe 5, 10, 15%, who at times can be opened up to clarity. The eyes and the ears can be opened up and they can see, oh my goodness, this guy is a disgusting, corrupt liar. They have been telling us that there's no problem. I know because I've been watching the media. You know, these are liberals, right? They've been watching MSNBC and CNN for the last 4 years. They've been telling us there's no problem. Joe Biden's been telling us everything's okay. Orange man, bad. Orange man trying to secure the border. He's bad. But now all of a sudden, we can clearly see there is a big, huge problem that's affecting American cities. And now Joe Biden is ready and willing to admit to it during an election year. But for those maybe 5, 10, 15% of Democrats who can get the disease of liberalism to calm down just enough to look at this guy lying to them in their face, I believe that they will say, this guy is unbelievable. What a disgusting, corrupt liar he is. I know Donald Trump's not to blame for this. I might not agree with Donald Trump on many policies. Maybe I don't even agree with how he handled the border. I thought that it was too severe or something, whatever. But it's Donald Trump's fault that we're being invaded to the tune of over 2.4 million illegal encounters. And those are just the encounters that we have, not the individuals who we're missing. So the numbers are higher than that. Donald Trump is the one to blame for that. I think when these three groups, conservatives, independents, and Democrats, see this video of this man lying to them right in their face, I think you embolden conservatives. I think you piss off independents. And I think some clarity comes to the mind of 5 to 15% of the diseased, parasitically diseased, liberal-minded individuals who are Democrats. They're going to realize that this, and then maybe they're not going to vote for Donald Trump, but I don't think that they're going to vote for Joe Biden. Some of the polls have been coming out lately, and we've been seeing numbers, actually some of the worst numbers for Joe Biden as of date. Some of them are suggesting that Donald Trump is now up by 5 points in the election. And I think as people see this, because the border is one of the biggest issues right now, when they see him lying to them, I think we might see numbers go up to 7, 8, maybe some of the polls 10 points ahead, which is something we actually haven't even seen. Even in the last election that we had, we didn't see numbers like that. But we're going to start to see them now. What do you think about this? I mean, I know for me, I take a look at this and, there's probably not much more that these people, this administration could do to get me any more against them. I mean, I could already see it for what it is, but spread this information around. Let people see this video. Let people watch their president lie to them. The one who was responsible for creating all of these problems that are now infecting our cities because of this, because of what they are letting happen. Look at them in the face and blame Donald Trump. I wonder what they'll think about it. Leave your comment below. What do you think about it? I'll catch you on the next video.